We need a break.
Full microphone.
I don't remember which one. It's weird. Yossi!
Sound type. What took you so long?
Listen, every guy counts, otherwise I lose here.
Who's doing the count?
My son-in-law. A guten Moed, Rabbi Sai. How's everybody doing? It's geschmack to do the daf. לעילוי נשמת imi mirasi Refuas Mordechai, the sponsor Shmuly Hecht F245 in honor of Dovid Zlatnik F200. Akiva Sulkowitz F94. Sholom Rand F202.
Get this name right.
Shmuly Davidowitz B202. And the official 8-minute Daf Yomi committee by the Sherman Family of Kew Garden Hills, לעילוי נשמת האדמו מפיטסבורג, מרדכי יששכר ben Abraham Abba zechus on the occasion of his first yahrzeit. Anonymously, 5-year-old Natan Khoshnood ben Dinosaur receiving a bone marrow transplant from his first year. Yosef, please, I hear you louder than me. From a 1-year-old brother Akiva Moshe ben Dinosaur on Sukkos for a rare life-threatening genetic disorder. Please be mispal for these children. I have a picture actually. Here we go. Picture of these Zisa kids. One of them has a rare genetic disease, and the other one is giving him a marrow transplant. And we have here, it says like this. Shkoyach. I recently started with the Yeshua beginning with the Sukkah. Greater than the Gemara that you teach are your lessons of Midas, Chesed, and Achdus, namely the recent story of the fellow that raised $2,000 and 20 shekel from complete strangers because he came to share instead of going collecting. I came across the attached article in Complete Strangers. I also felt the need to do my part by sponsoring a share for these boys. Everyone, please have them in mind in your tefillas and perhaps help fund their cause. Okay, we already said the names. Rabbi Sai, we have like this. What? I didn't hear what you said. Oh, yeah. So my Rebbe, my Chavrusa had his, I don't want to say what number, just let's say it's more than 12 children. He had his girl yesterday, so the shir should be a zechus for the newborn. So this we did already. And here is a Gewaldige picture. It says like this: tonight, Motzi Yontev, Ephraim Gwertzman, Yosef. I'm gonna have to send your brother-in-law back home. It was kedai to have that extra guy, but not if it comes at. Wow. Yeah.
Not Biliak.
Not Yosef Biliak, and not Yossi Radinsky, and not Yosef Berman. It's whatever. Ephraim Gortzman made a siyum on Masechtas Sukkah. His Sukkah, the attached picture is from left to right. Shlomo Gortzman, Ephraim Gortzman, and Yitzi Grossberg. Standing in front of the Sukkah poster, I'm going to just show you what's going on here. Rabbi Isai, here it is in the Sukkah, and right over here you can see they saved $145. They just printed it out of their iPhone, a picture they took of me by, what is it? By the Shev Brachas in Borough Park. Zishkoyach Mazel Tov, being Messiah, the Masechta. We have like this from David Block. I've been an avid YouTube attendee since Brachas Daf Beis, sometimes Zoom. Here's a great MDY story. I'm a dentist practicing Bet Shemesh. I live in Mapit Aleph, and my office is Kenya Niimi. Shout out to Kenya Niimi, dentist, if anybody wants to go there. We have other dentists in the room here, so we got to be careful. About 2.5 months ago, on a Friday morning, I was working in my office. I received a phone call from a neighbor complaining about severe tooth pain. I was rather overbooked, but was what I was supposed to do. So I told him to come at the end of the day. He came, has extracted an impacted wisdom tooth. Now it's getting later of Shabbos. He knew he was the last patient. He also knew we were neighbors. So he asked me for a ride home. I told him it's okay. All right, just to show what's going on in the sukkah here. Here's Moshe Chaim. Anyway, move, Mordechai Seltzer, move for a second. So you see. Wave. Okay, here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagofen. Chaim, Castel 2017, sponsored by Simon Jacobs. Yishkoyach. He is here. You want to come up to the front? Reb Simon. Get over here. Man the video. Mordechai. Come on. You finally come here, Nu. Get over here. Watch the wine. With your wine, I hope. It's just... We'll make it l'chaim.
Next year, glass.
Glass to glass. L'chaim. Yishkoyach. Thank you so much. Ooh, you should see the battle. Okay, different time. We'll bring the bell. L'chaim. Yishkoyach, Simon Jacobs. Okay, back to the story here. Anyways, he drove him back, but I told him it's okay, but I need to make a stop at a store, and while I'm driving, no talking, because I have to catch up on that morning's shir. He was in agreement. So on the way home, we listened to Rebelli's shir. When we arrived home, he asked me a question about the sugya that showed me he was listening. I told him they should write down the MDY site address so he could continue learning with the shir. He said he just did it. So over 2 months have passed, and Baruch Furman is a shir regular. He came for an emergency dental treatment and left a very active recruit. Maybe I should have the shir playing in the background while I'm treating. Keep steiging, David Block, DMD. So Baruch Furman is in the sukkah, and I don't think he wants to come to the front. Get over here, Baruch. Come on, bring him over. Somebody pick him up. Baruch, come on. No, you can do it. Oh, boys, here we go. So Baruch is in the sukkah.
How's your tooth doing? It's on the plaque on that wall.
Shalom Aleichem, Baruch. What do you do?
Nothing right now. I'm in yeshiva.
You're in yeshiva. Which yeshiva? Lifts yeshiva. Givaldik yeshiva. Okay, Givaldik. You know, we stole one of your guys from yeshiva. He's one of our color guys. El Yakim. Were you there with him? All right. Yishkoyach for coming to the front. I know it's hard. You got to get out of that shyness. I'm not talking to you. The whole Olam. Those shy guys come to the sukkah. Who? Shalechim, get over here. Both of you guys come here. Shir starting 20 minutes. Don't worry about it. Shalom Aleichem.
This is me.
This is you. Amichai Spiegler. That's how you say it? Wow, we got a singer. New guy. Where do you live? Mishkafayim. Here we go. Shalom Aleichem. Nice to meet you. Enjoy. Yishkoyach. Thank you. Next, Mati's father's here. Wow. Hold on. Let's go to the next one. Now listen to this. Dear Belly. Remember you guys, I was telling you about this guy that sells Arovis and Adassim in Yerushalayim. Go check him out. Good morning. Oh yes, Yonta was on a higher level due to Chazring Masechta Sukkah with you. So sorry to hear that what happened to your Arovis. Just as a reminder, we at our Beminim Center, located Rechav Malachi 17 in Yerushalayim offered to help you with your dalaminim in previous email, but you chose ... Now we could and would love to help solve your Aravis problem today. We offer 4 kinds of Aravis. Regular 5 shekel, better quality 15 shekel, imitation of Muncie Aravis grown in Israel 40 shekel, original Muncie Aravis $. Please let me know. 054-841-727. Rabbi Say, here in our sukkah we have Rabbi Velvel Brevde. Get over here with your Aravis. Get over here. Oh. Where's Yeshua? Is Yeshua around?
I know he's doing this.
Yeshua Velvel. Shalom Aleichem. Thank you. What is this?
Muncie, from Muncie.
This is from Muncie. Look at this. Wow. These are Aravis, Rabbi Say. Only 40 shekel, Malachi 17. Oh, no. Oh, this is the dollar sign. Listen, my kid also, I have 2 kids and a son.
And thank you for sending me customers. Josh from Yahrzeit came to buy us.
That guy came to you?
Yep.
Josh from Yahrzeit came. Unbelievable. Now, Rabbi Say, one of the reasons we do this sukkah thing is to draw more people. This year, we asked the new guys not to come, but Baruch Hashem, they didn't listen. 3 sukkahs ago, an amazing thing happened. Gary, he came for a breakfast. He was interested in some omelets, and it ended up, he stayed with us, and Baruch Hashem, he's been with us since that very day. 3 sukkahs ago. And 2 sukkahs ago, if that's how you say it, sukkahs ago, Dr. Shamroth, who is Menachem Atez's father-in-law, he also came to the sukkah to check it out. He happened to be there. And he's with us since then, 2 years. He's a world-renowned dermatologist all the way from South Africa. So, Yishkoyach. Here are the balloons. You want the balloons? Fine. Okay, they're got it. Rabbi Say. Oh. Really? I didn't know. Okay. Beseder. You got to be careful. Okay. Rabbi Say, today is Daf Chof Gimel. And we finished Daf Chof Beis, but let's go back a couple of lines. It's Kedai. By the way, tomorrow's Shir, sponsored by Benzi Novak. He's doing everything from A to Z. And Hoshana Rabbah, sponsored by my second cousin, Jonathan Stefansky. Yishkoyach Jonathan, Yishkoyach Benzi Novak. And today's shir is sponsored by myself in honor of Gary.
Really?
Yeah. It's a big zechus that you came to the shir. All right. So we have like this. We're on the bottom of Amud Beis. We'll just go through it quickly because we did it yesterday. Remember the sugya of smoking fruits, smoking meats. Could you do that or not? Rav says it's also. Shmuel Omar mutter. Shmuel says that it's oichel nefesh, it's mutter. Now, very interestingly, Rashi says, very interesting. You hear this? If what's considered oichel nefesh, shavel ochel nefesh. What is considered something that everybody eats? Is a deer something that everybody eats? So Rashi says, if you happen upon a deer, would you eat it? Yes. The thing is that you can't afford it, or you don't know where to find it. That doesn't make it not shavel ochel adam. Therefore, if you had a smoker in your house, would you use it? Most likely. The thing is, you're a pauper. You can't afford it. You didn't bring a lift like Avi Kamiansky did. You didn't schlep one like Moshe Chaim did. So therefore, but if somebody offered you smoked meat, like Moshe Chaim once made us smoked meat in Noam's sukkah, right? Remember? Delicious. Everybody loved it. It's not that we don't eat it. We just don't have we can't come, we don't know how to get it. Okay. Ushmuel Omar Mutter. Yes. What's not working? Something's not working? It's working fine. Rav Huna Omar Asur. Rav Huna is going in Rav. right? We just said Rav says Sasa, Shmuel says Mutter. Ravuna explained. Mipnei shemechabel. The reason is because when you have these coals, and when things hit the coals, it puts it out a little bit. Remember the question? What about you're igniting the spices? Yes, the spices are going to put out the coals, but they're also going to light up the coals. What comes first? They're going to put out the coals, and then the spices will light up. So mechaber comes first, maver comes second. If you put the spices directly above the coals, you are mechaber, you are mavir. So that's a problem. What's cheres? Pretend this is earthenware. You put spices on this, you're not putting anything out. Nothing changes. It's earthenware. Now, why is it not havara? You put spices on this. This is extremely hot, and the spices just go poof. Why is that not mavir? Because it's kalachar yad, it's a shinui. That's not the way we typically burn things. Now, I want to point out here a very interesting shaila. Think about it. Can you turn on a candle on Yontif for absolutely no reason? For no reason. On Yontif. You're allowed to put a candle if you need it for light, to heat up the room, for no reason. How about a ner neshama? Is that considered? So no reason at all, says Taisis right here, top Taisis, you're not allowed to. But that's called ner shabatala. A ner for no reason. But let's say a ner neshama. So there's a nidain in a ner neshama. For the most part, it's not allowed. But if you say the ner neshama is like a sort of a mitzvah, so we really have, if you look in the halacha, I came out with three things. Obviously, for oichel nefesh, for food, for hasaka, for this. But then it seems like from the Mishnah Berurah, there's a third category called mitzvah. If you have Taisus bring, like in a shul, the simcha of a mitzvah, that's also a category. Is a ner neshama, and that if somebody lost a parent, they know if they miss the ner neshama, it gives them a lot of tsar. Is that enough? I don't think it's enough. If you say that the ner neshama is a mitzvah, a little bit of a mitzvah, there's a nidan in that. If that's considered a mitzvah. Okay, Rabbi Omar agabi cheres nami osur. Rabbi says that it's osur. Now, Yeshua, where's Yeshua? Do me a favor. In my office, I think I might have left my pointer guy. You can find one there. It's schmack that we're here at home, just in case. Okay.
You didn't leave it at MDY?
No. Maybe. Gabi cheres. No, not here. Everybody, we gotta move. You're not allowed to put the spices above earthenware. Because it's creating a new smell. You're not allowed to create a new smell. If you're going to flip over, let's say, a cup full of perfume, ashiroi, on clothing that are made out of silk, because you're pouring perfume on clothing. You're not allowed to flip perfume on clothing. Now, here's the shaila that's been get to us. We don't typically put perfume on clothing, but you know what we do? We have these nice things that we put in the toilets, and you flush the toilet, and now comes like a nice smelling thing. Is that okay or not? So are we? This is machlokes. I'm not passing as usual, and especially after I drank a little wine. I really don't know the sugya well. I'm just saying that it's a nidain. Why? Because is the smell there? You're just bringing it out. Are you putting the smell on something else? Like over here, you're taking the smell, putting it on clothing, and that's moed, and you're not allowed to do that? Or no, you're just taking it out of its container and moving it somewhere else, which would be okay. Rav Omar, Tziveya, yeah, different things. This is my pointer that Yeshua thought I was asking for. Rabbi Zai, thanks. Thank you. Oh, but he's right. This could work because it's on a flat surface. I got it. No, it's good. My time is to come by the recha. My shno me boy. Oh, Rabbi Sai, I have an adas over here. Question: am I allowed to take this and smell it right now? Anybody?
No. What is it from?
Oh, you hear? That's the answer. He asked me a question, very Jewish, but that's the answer. What is it from? If it's on Yontif like today and it's part of my lulav, I'm not allowed to smell it. Now, this is not from any lulav or any esrig, so memela I am allowed to. And if you go like this, moilulai means you take it in your fingers and you crush it up like this. Or umeriach boy. The koitmoy means you go like this, you break it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei atzei b'samim. Geschmack, here, enjoy. In the sukkah here. Huh? That's a adas. That was a rava. You're allowed to. Hassam rechami is here. Give that to me. I need that for a second. The smell, the beautiful fragrance is right in here. I'm just taking it out by mushing it between my fingers. Over here, I'm pouring it onto a beged. I'm creating a beged with a new smell. Rava Amar, now Rava goes back. Are you permitted to smoke fruits and meat? Rava Amar Gabi Nagachel is nami mutter. He argues, even on top of a coal, it's mutter. So now I have another shita. Before he said the coal is aser, maybe on cheres we had machlokes. Now even on a coal, it's mutter. Mididahava bisra gumrei. We roast meat on Yontif, right? Everybody roasts meat on Yontif. On a barbecue. The juices go and are mechaba the coals. The coals smell a lot better. They smell like meat, says Rashi. And it's a shavel chol nefesh. Everybody does it. So you see, you're allowed to. Now let me ask you a very simple question. Of course you're allowed to. You hear Moshe Chaim? What's the pshat? In middle shir, meeting family in middle shir. Jonathan, he wants to learn. Leave him alone. He's part of the daf. He does it every day. You missed the shir yesterday. Okay, listen. I'm asking you a question. Of course you're allowed to barbecue on Yontif. It's oichel nefesh. What did bring me a raya from a barbecue to smoking? The answer, says the Ran, is because for oichel nefesh, you don't have to do it directly above the coals. You just put it in a hot place, you put it on the side of the barbecue, whatever. The fact that I'm allowed to do it over the coals shows me that for oichel nefesh, we don't care. You could be over all these things, even mechaba. My kitura. There was a question. Oh, sorry, no. Says the Gemara, nobody stopped me. Rav Gvia said a drasha right there by Reish Gelusa. Remember, the Reish Gelusa, the guy in charge of Klal Yisrael in Bavel, had a fancy house, a big mansion. Kitura shari. He gave a drasha. He said two words. That was his whole drasha. Kitura shari. Maybe it said more, but at that point, Rabbi Isai, big speech going on. Everybody gathers. You ready? Yeah. Kitura shari. Good yontiv. See you later. Best shir ever. The problem is, everybody leaves. They start scratching their head. What's kitura? Says the Gemara. If it's something like this, I just made this up. This has nothing to do with what he was talking about. But still, like l'saber sa'izin. If he was like trying to like press a shirt, put it in a certain place, put a pleat somewhere, so that's a maisu uman. You see, you need a professional machine for that. Maisu uman, umanu, and you're not allowed to do it on Yontif. He screamed out. He said, uman. Maisu uman, and so what if it's maisu uman tzaddik, Dr. Factor, asur. You have to finish up the sentence. Okay. So obviously it doesn't mean that uman, Dr. Factor. Oh, by the way, shout out to Dovid Factor, our youngest member now. He's not the youngest anymore, but he started when he's like 7 years old and he knows stuff cold. He has COVID and he's sitting at home. He really would wish to be here. So we're wishing him well. Yeah. And if it's kitur means smoke. In Hebrew, a kitor means smoke. Maybe it comes from the same lashon or not. Ilashin also, by putting the meat, the fruits, on top of the coals, you're putting out the coals. We're talking about putting out the coals. Oh, Like we said, you're allowed to do it with meat. Some say it happened like this. What is this kitur that he darshan? If he's pressing the clothing, that's aser. Ilashin, aser. Now we're talking about a reach now. Omar Ravashi, Ano Amirto Nahale. I told Rav Gvio Mishmei the Gavarabba, Amirto Nahale, and I told him in the name of a very chashuv person. It's talking about smoking it out. Not before the lashon was the reach, and now it's la'ashen, but you're allowed to smoke it because like basar. Va'oisin gedi mikulos. As you remember yesterday, beautiful picture from Yoni, I believe. You take the carbon pesach, you chop off its feet, you put it in some sort of device that's stuck in its mouth, goes through and through the whole animal from side to side, and you put its feet on the top, and you wrap its head with its intestines, and that's how you make a carbon pesach. Says the Gemara, after the Churban, so Toidos, which, by the way, Rashi over here says he's a Chacham Gadol, or so some sort of lashon like that. Chacham Gadol v'nichbad, says Rashi. But the Gemara at a Shiloh, we had this, and the Gemara proves that he's a Chacham. First, we thought maybe he's a strong man, but the Gemara says no, because he said a whole lashon over there with B'tzel Chacham, B'tzel Kesef. Fine. Now, they want to prove from here, Gdi, Mikulos. So some say, it says in the Gemara, goat. What about a sheep? So it's very interesting. What's the difference between a sheep and a goat? Both you can make a carbon pesach. You can make a carbon pesach for both. So what would be the nafkamin and svara between a sheep and a goat? A sheep has a tail. And if you remember the famous story about Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, Mitzudascha Prusa b'Yerushalayim, he sent the guy and he tricked him up. He said, go ask for the tail. But the tail goes in the mizbeach. So memela, maybe you could make a sheep somewhat a taina because it has a tail. And if it has a tail, you know it's not a carbon pesach because the carbon pesach doesn't have a tail. So, but anyways, it says before somewhere else that it's also a sheep. The story happened with a sheep. Not such a great right. Anyway, if you weren't such a chacham gadol v'nechbad, I would put you in chayrim. People are going to think that what you're doing is a real carbon pesach. And tomorrow, do me a favor. And tomorrow they're going to do the same thing. So Mela, just. Okay. It's going to confuse people. Like I just got confused. It's going to confuse people. People are going to think, oh, it's the middle of Pesach now. And look, they even brought a Karm Pesach. And tomorrow they're going to, in Rome, in Bavel somewhere, some guy is going to start bringing kachim. It's going to be a mess. The official Mishnah, sponsored by official Refuas and Yeshuos from Yosef ben Chana. Shloisha Dvorim Rebbe Eliezer ben Azariah Mater. If you notice, we have a lot of threes. Last Mishnah was 3, and the Mishnah before that was 3 that Rebbe Gamliel agreed to be Shammai, and then there's going to be more 3s. Shloisha Dvarim, Rebbe Eliezer ben Azariah, Mater, V'chacham V'yisrael, the famous Rebbe Eliezer ben Azariah from Pesach, that no, I'm laughing because I had a whole speech with a certain individual, not to fill up the thing with milk, not to add milk. So yeah, and then he goes and okay, yeah. He thinks I don't see middle share. That's the problem. I see everything. So we're talking about here. We're talking about Eitzah on Shabbos. Are you allowed to carry things on Shabbos? Now, if an animal goes out with extra burdens, like luggage on its back, that's a tircha. But if it's a kishot, not. So here's a picture I found. Here's your para. Here it is with its beautiful design. Is that considered that it's carrying something? Or maybe you matriach it. So Rebbe Eliezer ben Azariah says, okay, b'chachamim ma'isrim. This is okay. And you could comb up the animal with a metal comb as such. And you could use. Is it going to rain tomorrow, Beitzah? Here is a Rechaim Shel Pilpul. I'm not saying, again, this is just for illustrative purposes, whatever the word is. This is what we use today. You take some peppercorns, and you put in this thing, you turn it, and it grinds it, and out comes this. That's something similar in the time of the Mikdash. And he says that you're allowed to use this on Yantav, even though it's called Toichen and it's also to be Toichen. You're not allowed to use the metal comb because you are going to draw blood. But you could use a wooden comb, such as this. By the way, people that have dogs, they're supposed to comb out the dog every day. So you have to know, if you use a metal comb and it gives it chabura, it could be it's aser. Not here. He's at the babysitter. He's actually right there across the street at that house. Those very nice people. And the guy comes to our shir. He's supposed to be here today, but I don't know. Eastwood. He watches the shir, no? No, so where is he?
Watching the dog.
Yeah, he has a bunch of kids, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, and he has 2 more dogs and like 2 more cats and Seder. All right, Zok the Gemara. Now, very, very interesting. Tosfos says over here that if you look at Tosfos, the bottom Tosfos, 4 lines from the bottom. It's going on the sugi later, but I thought about it now and I want to tell you now. We're talking about a wooden comb. It doesn't make a chabura. But if you use a brush, he's talking about us. Could we comb our hair on Shabbos? Use a metal brush. You know why you can't? Because you used it when you were younger and you did this. The it takes out your hair. If you're going to pull out your hair on Shabbos with a comb, it's one of these tight combs. You have certain hair that's knotted, and you go like this. It's 100% aser. So there's a very famous ma'aseh about the Chofetz Chaim. The Chofetz Chaim was on a train, and somebody said he wants to ask him a bracha for bracha. So he comes over to the Chofetz Chaim, asks him for a bracha. Chofetz Chaim says, "You want a bracha from me when your son?" And this is Baruch HaKodesh. This is a Yedua story. When your son pulls into your house after Shabbos starts with his wagon, this. You want a bracha from me? You allow this? And your daughter, she uses a comb that pulls out her hair. First be makbid on Shabbos, then we'll talk. So anyways, based on this thesis, you got to be careful. I do brush my hair on Shabbos, but I'm careful. I'm just telling you. A wooden one. It actually is wood. I'm not joking. It is wood. Tell my wife to get me my brush. Get that brush over here.
Hey, get over here.
It's a sheker. It's a little bit of sheker. Okay, Zok the Gemara. It's out of control. Rabbi say Amud Beis is not so long. It says in the Mishnah that his cow in singular went out with. Now, who's Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah? If you remember that whole sugya when he was supposed to become, everybody shot. He needs to leave a message. Rabbi say, we're in the middle of a shir here. Calm down. I know we're in the sukkah. Everything's good. You can leave messages different places. You guys can calm down. It's Beseder. So we learned that Reb Gamliel, he was the Nasi. They were looking for a new Nasi. So they said, Reb Elazar ben Azariah. How old was Reb Elazar ben Azariah? I say 18 years old. But they said he's a good candidate. You know why? Because he's very wealthy and he has the connections. But one of the things is that he's you see, makbid on wood. I'm not going to show you this side over here, but it's wood. It's wood. Wow, there's a lot of hair in here. But that all happened in the weekday. What are you talking about? Never. No, it's wood. Look at this. It's the same thing. This is mutter.
Honey, the other wooden brush. Is that one yours? That's why the Chofetz Chaim won't give you a bracha.
Ooh. Chofetz Chaim, my bracha. Anyway, fine. So the Gemara. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah was extremely wealthy. V'amarav, v'amrilo, amarav, yudom, tleisar, alfei, igle, havim, aser, 13, Meiser is 1 out of 10. So if he gave every year 13,000 newborns, Meiser, so how many newborns did he have a year? 10 times 13,000. Even I, from Panovich, and I was quicker than you guys. 130,000 new calves a year. By the way, if anybody wants, I'm sure they do this all over, but I think I mentioned once. On the way from Chicago to Indianapolis, there's a farm, a very famous farm. And you go in there, you pay the money, and they have bus tours, and it's every 5 minutes is another bus tour, and it takes you through there. They have thousands of cows. And every given moment, a cow is giving birth. So you go into the birthing center, you can see a cow give birth whenever you want, all day long. That's how many cows they have. So you can understand this number of 130,000. It's a meshugana play. The way they, you know how they milk these cows? On a merry-go-round. It's a massive merry-go-round with 100 cows, and it goes in a circle. And one circle, one complete spin, then the cow goes off, and another cow goes on, and it just keeps on going. Anyway, Ayin Shams Kedai to go to Chicago for a Chalamoy trip. If you're in Chicago today, go there for Chalamoy. It's Kishmaga place. The shir should go there for the next scene. Okay. Zok the Gemara. So you see, he was very wealthy. He had 13,000 meisers. Taisus goes into the whole cheshbon. He wasn't even in the time of the Beis Hamikdash. He was after the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, that's a different shaila. Maybe he didn't give meiser. Maybe it was just a certain tax that he had to give the king. Okay, fine. I'll go bottom. Tana. Lo shelo yaisa. Elo shel shchenta yaisa u'mitoch shlei micha ba nikris al shmoi. Says the Gemara that it wasn't his cow. The reason why it's singular, his neighbor, he had millions of cows. His neighbor had one. And that one, she used to put a design on the head, and he should have been moicha. So Rabbi said, this is the discussion we have all the time. It's that it's not very Americanish to go over to somebody and say, hey, by the way, you're not allowed, your cow, it has something usher, and it's usher to go like the shop. In America, especially in England, it's not polite. You know, you mind your own business and you do your own thing, and you don't eat this. But the Gemara says not like that. The Gemara says that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah should have said something to this woman. You are being over, it's Issa Doiraisa of Beitzah to take out, or whatever the Issa is, and because he didn't, it became his. Now, Noam told me a beautiful vart. I was keeping this vart for a very long time. It's not really the right date to say it because not very many people are watching this year today. But because it's so negeya and it's in the sukkah, I got to tell this to you. When's the Vilna going to this yahrzeit, by the way? Anybody remember? On Shabbos. Okay, so it's not. I should have saved it for Shabbos. Shabbos is even a worse day in terms of. I'll have to say this vart again. You'll all be moichel. I'm going to say it again. Mila b'mila. It's a beautiful zach. It says in the Gemara in Brachas that when you go into a shul and there's less than 1 million, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes into the shul and he sees there's less than 1 million, miyad koyas. He's upset right away. What's the pashup pshat? Who's he upset at? At the people that don't come on time, that don't come to shul. Says the Vilna guy, no. He's upset at the people in the shul. You should make sure there's 1 million. You're here and you don't get 1 million. So it's unbelievable yahrzeit. When you're there, instead of being, I davened in the early minyan. Instead of you being to yourself, I mind my own business. No, you have to make phone calls and make sure that HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't get upset. It's your achrayus. So Rabbi say, Alachas Kama V'Kama, when you walk around in the street and you see a fellow Jew who has no shaykhs to Torah, you got to get him to join MDY. And if you don't, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's koyas. You hear this? It's before Shagain. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's koyas. You cannot mind your own business. Mati, you got to get your dad to join. Today. Gets a free Gemara. Free Gemara. All right. Zog the Gemara. Where are we?
I'm going to sign up your Aaron price to join the Daf.
It'll never happen. You have to learn for 1 or 2 days straight. He's laughing. He's putting more milk. Okay. I'm saying he's a guy that doesn't listen. So Torah, there's that. No, he's doing something else. He's trying to help us out. He's putting that stuff in that. Not you.
I'm showing a count of baby.
Fine. Where are we? Oh, Umekardin esabem beyontav. You're allowed to comb an animal with a metal, with a not metal. Says the Gemara, Torah Rabbanan Ezik Kerud Ezik Kirtzuv. What does it mean? Kerud is metal. Ketana Boisim Chabura. They're very close together. You know what? When I took this picture, or when I took these pictures, I didn't realize. Beautiful. Here you can see these are metal and they're very close together. These are wood. I guess the nature of wood is probably very difficult to cut it so close together. So Mela, it's spread apart and it doesn't do as much damage to the animal. So there's 3 shitas, very, very easy. The famous sugya of David Shein Miskaven. Rabbi Yehuda Savar, David Shein Miskaven Asur, even if you don't intend to do it. So what's the classic example, Rabbi Yisai? We've seen this picture 1,000 times. Pulling the bench. The guy needs a bench from A to B. He needs to go from here to there, from here to here. But by doing so, he might create, it's not 100% psik ratio. Psik ratio means it's 100% going to happen. Not 100%. He might make a far on the ground. Far on the ground, you're not allowed to do. Obviously, on Shabbos, it's chayrish. Rabbi Yehuda holds this is also. This malacha would be also to drag the bench. Miu keirit tanim ba'osim chabura. The metal comb is aser. But the larger comb is not a problem. But the only issue is, what about Xera? If the smaller one is aser, everything should be aser. Like he says no. So he's the in-between cheetah. One is mutter, one is aser. The wood is mutter. Rabbanan Savri Nami Rabbi Yehuda, but Rabbanan are more machmir. They say yes. Dav Shein Miskaven, pulling a bench on Yontiv, on Shabbos is aser. Rabbanan Savri Nami Rabbi Yehuda, Dav Shein Miskaven. You know, I realize now the whole shir. There's a guy talking the whole time, and I'm really annoyed at him. And I realize it's me. It's not even a guy. It's the speaker right over there. It's my voice coming out of me. You see, you have to be down like zechus, Rabbi Yisai. You push have to be down like zechus. I'm asking Mechila from all the guys that I thought was talking in middle shir. I didn't chap. I didn't chap. But like Yisrael, here I am. Now I'm like an echo. Like it's a few of me talking now. But it's still me. It's me and the speaker. I hate it. You see, it's a muchach that I don't like hearing myself speak. Subconsciously, I don't. Here, this guy just had a phone call. It's negay for him to pick up the phone in front of everybody. What's pshat? We don't know. It's mamish meshuga. Rabbi Yisai, we're here for achdus and love, and some people need a lot of achdus and love, and here we are. Okay. We have to be nice, yeah. Like as reading kids about to carry Rabbanan. So Rabbanan said we have to be geyser one because of the other. How much time do we have left?
What do you mean?
No, we. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah suffered like Rabbi Shimon. Now, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah holds when it comes to this famous case of a bench, dragging a bench. Dav Shein Miskaven. I don't have in mind to do it. He holds it's mutter. Dav Shein Miskaven mutter. Ubein Kerud, Ubein Kirtzuv Shari. And Memel's mutter. Omar Rav Nachman Omar Shmuel. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this yesterday. All the zip ties you see in the schach, I don't use zip ties. Zip ties is a problem of Maimid with David. So why I use zip ties? There's another piece of wood above that schach, like another 2x4, and we're tying the bottom wood with the top wood. That's why that's mutter. Oh, but if you hire a 14-year-old that's never done it before, so sometimes it could be a little bit of a problem. Which one?
Share is too long.
Oh, because I charged the other phone. Feelings not mutual, Shmuel. All right, Zog the Gemara. It's got mutter. Ben Kir Shar. Amar Rav Nachman Shmuel. Some say it's Rav Nachman himself. Some say Rav Nachman said in the name of Shmuel. Halacha Rav Shimon that what Davar Shein Miskaven mutter. Shari Rav Elazar ben Azariah Moed. You see over here, the Rav Elazar ben Azariah says that if I'm allowed to comb out the animal, sometimes it gets a little nick. No, I'm not. I didn't have intention, and it's mutter. Omar le Rav Nachman. So it's Talmud Rava tells Rav Nachman, his famous Rebbe. Why didn't that master say that looks like Rabbi Yehuda? Shouldn't they might make like a buzz? Shouldn't we be concerned that Chacham are the Roiv and they go like Rabbi Yehuda? and you're going like Reb Elazar ben Azariah was a yachid, like Reb Shimon. We go like the rabbim, not like a yachid. So what is he saying? He's saying, no, I figured it out myself. I decided that Reb Shimon is right. Oh, not only is Reb Shimon right, but at the end of the day, we have Reb Elazar ben Azariah that agrees with him also. We just turned to Daf Chav Gimel Amud Beis if you're spacing out. Today's Daf Chav Gimel Amud Beis sponsored by the MDY Tehillim group. For all those who need Shidduchim, Refuas and Yeshuos, please join us at Tehillim.8mindaf.com. Sponsored by Natan Khoshnood. No, how do you say this? Khoshnood. For zechus, for my children, Arikolev ben Devara and Yisrael Yaakov ben Devara, that should be both do well in Eretz Yisrael, have a cheshik and Torah mitzvahs and Yerushalayim. The Mishnah sponsor of Shlema from Brian Bas Yenta Devara. Harachayim shel pilpelim tmeya mishum shleisha kelim. So Rabbi say I have a cross cut of the Rechaim. This is a cross section of the modern day Rechaim. The one the Gemara is talking, the Mishnah is talking about, has nothing to do with this. It's almost nothing like this. But stop, l'saber sa'izin, for illustrative purposes only. You have three parts here, the Gemara says. It's made out of wood, all made out of wood. And then on the bottom over here, unlike us, that the pepper falls directly into the dish that you're making, in those days it would catch it. I saw a picture actually. It was a real rechaim, like a real grinder, like a handle, you go like this. Okay, this is a little bit more sophisticated what we have today. So the Mishnah says the rechaim is built out of three parts. Says Rashi, so what? So if you're missing one of the three parts, it's still Mekabel Tumah. Each part is Mekabel Tumah on its own. So even if you're missing one of the three. Look, it's able on the bottom, it receives the pepper. This is a big chiddush. What is this made out of? This is a good example. What is this made out of? Made out of wood. Why is it called a kli mateches? Because the mechanism that grinds the pepper is made out of metal, and memela it's considered a metal kli. That is the ikar of the kli. A wooden bowl does nothing. It's the machine inside that creates everything. Memela, I'm going to call this device is going to be called a metal kli. Umeshom kli kvara. There's also some sort of sifter in there, which is Rashi says it's not. It's just exerid rabbanon. It's not a doiraisa, and memela. Fine. They say that's why it goes in this order: the bigger chiddush to the lesser chiddush or fakert. Tana tachtonim meshum kli kibul emtsois. Here, now we're going to see what I just said. Tachtonim meshum kli kibul. The bottom one receives. Emtsois meshum kli kvara. El yonim meshum kli mateches. That would be a big chiddush that the mechanism creates the name of the kli. Says the Mishnah, and this Mishnah is also sponsored by official Refuas Shlema for Avraham Yosef ben Chana. Today, Baruch Hashem, we're getting official 4 times. Besides all the Gemaras, but it's a little slow today because he's not going to get hurt with the Gemaras. Not a lot of Gemaras. Says the Mishnah, Agala shel katan, a wagon of a child. Now, according to Rashi, I have a Gevaldik picture here. It's unbelievable. I found a frum kid, mamish, pulling small dogs and his sister. How do I know he's frum? Because he has tchelas. That's how I know. And also he's wearing a yarmulke. Those two are a big simon that this kid is a frum kid. It's an adorable picture. He has the dogs, his sister, give him a ride. This is according to Rashi. Mamish works beautifully because Rashi, the Gemara says, it's something that you sit on and you could push people in it. Everything's great. Taisus says it's more like a walking device. It's like one of these strollers that the kids stand up and walk with it. So, Vinitelis b'Shabbos. So first of all, Tamei Medras. If the kid happens to be a Zav, whether it's a boy or a girl that's a Zav or a Zava, they have Tumah. And Tumah, you could give Tumah by sitting on something. Medras. So it's Mikabel Tumah. Vinitelis b'Shabbos, you're allowed to move it. It's not muktzah, it's a toy. Vein negreres al gabi kelim, ella al gabi kelim. The only way you could drag this thing is on a carpet, on a plastic covering, on clothing. Kelim over here are begadim, are clothing. Rabbi Yehuda Omer kol hakelim eini groim chutz min ha'agola mipnei shi koiveshes. you're allowed to drag, it says Rabbi Yehuda, who's Mechulek on Rabbi Shimon and all of Shas, on dragging a bench, says you're allowed to drag this wagon. Why? Because the wheels don't make a furrow. They push, they crush the dirt. Only 2 more minutes. Rabbi say, Agol shekot t'mei medris. Why does samach elavei? The reason why it's mekabel tuma is because it's meant to sit on, to lean on, and there's a famous concept in tuma where if you sit on a pail, let's say, so the shaila is, let's say you sit on a washing machine. Is washing machine tamei medris or not? So it depends. If somebody will come over and say, Moed v'nasim alachtenu, it's not meant for what you're doing. You're not supposed to sit on a teddy bear, but this you're supposed to sit on. It's meant for the kid to sit on. So Mela, you don't tell a kid, Moed v'nasim alachtenu, get up. I need to do something with it. That's what you're supposed to do. What he's doing. If he's doing the wrong, if he's sitting on something, so a guy sits on the hood of a car. That's not meant to be sat on. So you say, Moed v'nasim alachtenu. But on a wagon, you're supposed to sit on. And that's why it's mekabel tuma. V'nitelz b'Shabbos mishum de'getar is kli. It's a toy. It has a name of a kli. Memela, a kli allowed to be V'nugres alagavi kelim, and you can only drag it on something soft, not on dirt. Agavi kelim in agavi kalkaloi, not on the ground. My time of the charetz. So remember this word. The reason is because it makes a groove. Mani Rabbi Yehudi, and this goes according to Rabbi Yehudi. That says that what? That a wagon on the dirt is going to make a groove, makes a charetz. And he says, and he holds that even though you don't mean it, it's asr. By the way, nobody saw this. I got to show the olam that's watching on. We should really take this and put it in the beginning of this. I'm serious. Here we go. Everybody wave in the middle of the share. We're in the middle of learning Torah, but the olam has to see. No, they didn't see. Yes, shvach amaisis. Oh, wow. It's amazing. Hold on. I'm looking at the screen. Woo! And here's Ramesh Shapir in the corner. Anybody notice him in the corner? Right on the wood with the bag. It's unbelievable. What? We don't have any G'dalim in the sukkah, only Ramesh Shapir. Not on purpose. But it makes a lot of sense. It's a Daf Yomi share. All right. Reb Shimon ha'amar davar shem miskav mutter. But according to Reb Shimon, it would be completely mutter even if you make a groove, a charetz in the ground. The Snar Reb Shimon Omer, Goyrer, the famous halacha, Goyrer Adam Mita Kis V'Safsel. You're allowed to drag a bed, a chair, and a bench. Just don't have in mind to make a furrow, a groove. Ask the Gemara. So again, Rabbi Yehuda says that a wagon creates a groove. Ema Seifa, how do we explain the last part of the Mishnah? Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Eina calling growing b'Shabbos. You can't drag everything. A wagon you can always drag. Why? It says mafurish, not a charetz, koivesh. It presses down the dirt. That doesn't make a groove. Says the Gemara, you're right. Did Rabbi Yehuda say that a wagon pushes it down and doesn't make a groove, or did Rabbi Yehuda say that a wagon makes a groove? Hadran alach yantif, Hadran alach yantif. Hadran alach yantif. Is Meir Planke here?
Yes.
Where is he? Meir, I want to be mechabed you with Zimun. I hope you benched. I hope you washed. Hay veso machto bechagecho ve'oiso achsomeya veso machto bechagecho hay ve'oiso achsomeya la 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 la.